something just changed in the Middle East, and it could reshape US foreign policy overnight. Tensions between the United States, Israel, and Iran have escalated sharply, with new military activity reported across multiple fronts. What began as targeted strikes has now widened into a broader regional confrontation, and the ripple effects are already being felt far beyond the battlefield. Here's what we know. In recent days, US and Israeli forces carried out coordinated military operations targeting Iranian-linked positions. In response, Iran and allied groups have launched missile and drone attacks across parts of the region. This is no longer isolated, it is layered, and that shift matters because when multiple state and proxy actors engage simultaneously, the risk of wider regional destabilization increases. Energy routes, trade corridors, and military bases are all within range. Now here is where it becomes globally significant. The Middle East is not just a regional theater, it also sits at the center of global energy supply chains. Any sustained escalation immediately affects oil markets, shipping routes, and investor confidence. Markets are reacting cautiously, governments are watching closely, and diplomatic channels are under strain. This is where my own perspective comes in, not as someone choosing sides, but as someone observing patterns. When escalation spreads horizontally across the regions, instead of vertically within one battlefield, it often signals a structural shift, not just a temporary flare-up. And that is what makes this moment different. US officials have emphasized deterrence and defensive posture. Iranian leadership has framed its actions as retaliation. Regional allies are recalibrating their positions. No formal declarations, but clear signals. And here's the key question forming underneath all of this. Is this a contained exchange or the beginning of a prolonged strategic standoff? Because history shows that once proxy networks activate simultaneously, de-escalation becomes more complex. Meanwhile, domestic political implications are beginning to surface inside the United States. Foreign policy decisions during volatile moments tend to carry weight at home, particularly when American forces are involved. But at this stage, officials are stressing stability, not expansion. Still, the uncertainty remains. Oil infrastructure, maritime routes, military bases, diplomatic alliances, all interconnected. And when interconnected systems are stressed at the same time, and even very small miscalculations can have outsized consequences. For now, the situation remains fluid. No confirmed large-scale ground invasion, no formal declaration of war, but measurable escalation. And the world is watching closely because what happens next will not only define regional dynamics, it could influence global security posture for months, possibly years. The real question now is not just who acts next, but whether any side chooses to pause. And in moments like this, restraint can be just as consequential as retaliation. We'll continue monitoring developments as they unfold.